Yes, I am looking forward to this one, ladies and gentlemen. We are going camping on a remote Scottish beach. We've got our camera gear, we're packing our bags, and yeah, this is gonna be good. So, my bag. My bag is massively overladen. I've got far too much stuff, too much gear, too much everything. But I figured, although it's a reasonable walk, it's not too bad. It's about 4.5 miles. I think it's pretty flat. So I've allowed myself to basically not worry and just stuff my bag. So I've got lots of water, food. I've even bought a coffee grinder, some beans. Like, we're not camping, we're flipping glamping. So for photography, obviously I've got my tripod. I've got my Nikon Z8 with a 24-70 and the 100-400. The latter might be a mistake. The bag that I'm carrying all this chest pouch here was made for me by a viewer of the channel. He saw my video from the Alps where I injured my knee and I'm getting old. So he reached out and said, look, I make these super lightweight camera inserts or straps to the front of your bag. Do you want one? And he made it bespoke to fit my Z8 and a couple of lenses. Not the 100-400, I think that's too big, but I've shoved it in anyway. But it's light as a feather. You like the weight of it. I don't know, I'll put it on screen, but it's a lovely little pouch and it weighs nothing and it's waterproof. So that's going to come in handy for so many different things, for shoving in a bag and going on hikes and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you so much, dude. That was very, very generous of you. Too hot, far too hot. What was I thinking? I never learn. Too much gear, too many clothes. I've been going 40 minutes and I'm still not halfway. I've just done 2 miles. So it's gonna be about another 45-50 minutes before I get to the beach. And sunset is in about, what time is it now? Sunset's in an hour and a half. So we are really cutting it fine. The days are so short, but I think we should be able to get there. I'm not gonna set up camp. We'll get there and we'll see about the photography. Like, I don't think we're gonna have time to go and explore and really make compositions. I think for tonight we'll get there, assess the situation, try and get a nice shot, and then set up camp, settle in for the evening. Looking forward to it. Really am. I wish I had an extra hour though. I'm running a bit behind. Oh, there she is. We have a visual on the beach. Oh, and it's looking beautiful. Whoa, made it! Made it. That took me from the van 1 hour 28 minutes. Didn't really stop for filming very much, so that's pretty accurate. And there's no one else here. And it's just beautiful. I need to find a camp spot. Ideally one that's very photogenic, so I don't have to do much this evening or really first thing tomorrow morning. We have a bit of a dilemma. I didn't do my due diligence and I didn't check the tides. We've got this inlet from a Lochan over there that goes out into the sea, creating beautiful S-curves on the beach. You'll have seen it on the drone footage. And I want to get across and camp on the hill just on the other side. Looks like there's a couple of nice spots up there. However, I'm assuming it's low tide-ish now. Therefore, when I want to leave tomorrow morning, it's probably going to be high tide. And I don't think this is crossable at high tide. I think I can get across it now, no problem. I've got wellies on, fine. But, it might come to 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning and it's flooded and I can't get across and I've got to wait until until 2 in the afternoon to cross it. I don't know. So what I might do, I think there's going to be a great shot from up there. I might camp in the dunes just here, and then I can just nip across and, you know, to get a shot that way, basically, is what I'm saying. I think this is good a spot as any. Right. Oh. All right, so this is a beautiful camp spot. It's perfect. I'm gonna leave my big heavy camping bag here, and I'm just gonna grab my camera gear, got filters in my pocket, and we're gonna go up there and see if we can get a shot before it goes dark. And then we'll set up camp, settle in for the night. Yeah, I would not want to cross that at high tide. It looks to me like low tide, and well, I barely got across without getting a welly full of water. So yeah, probably made the right decision to camp on the other side. Well, so you might get a sense that I'm rushing, and that's because it's going to get dark very quickly, and actually the light and everything's quite beautiful right now. And look, let me show you by way of focus pull. That is more or less going to be my composition. It's that there. Oh no, we're focused, but oh, the focus is all over the place. Fuji's, man. Right, gonna get set up. Right, so whilst I'm setting up, let me thank the sponsor of today's video, which is MPB. Now, MPB is a place where you can buy, sell, and trade your used camera gear. So, if you're thinking about upgrading to something a bit better, a bit bigger, a bit different, depending on what you like, well, you can go onto MPB and you can sell them your current gear, or they have a ton of used gear that you can buy, so you could upgrade, or you could just do a straight up trade. Now, if you're selling your gear, it's so straightforward. Put in the make, model, the condition that it's in. They'll send you a quote. If you accept the quotes, they'll send you a shipping label. You ship it off to them. When they get it, they'll send you the money straight away. I've done it myself with a couple of my cameras and lenses. Couldn't recommend them highly enough. So there's a link in the description below. If you use that link, then they'll know that you came from me, and that helps. It just helps them continuing to support the channel, basically. So that's mpb.com. We're losing light fast, and I love this composition. So this is right up my street. My concern actually is not with losing the light or the tide coming in so I can't get back. My concern is the tide comes in and we lose this curve on the beach, this S-curve. We have a fantastic sea stack just there, out there on the at the other end of the beach. And there is so much, I wish I had more time because there's so much potential foreground and ways to play with this. But for me, I'm pressed for time and I just want to go in and just focus on what really interests me, try and exclude everything else and really come up with a simple, clean, minimalistic image. And for that, we're focusing on the curve with the sea stack. I'm not sure about aspect ratio, I'll be honest with you. I've played with a square and it looks quite good, but I like the wider aspect as well. The good thing with the square is there's a couple of islands or rocky outcrop. You can get rid of them, you can lose them, and then it gives you a much cleaner image. As you go wider, you pull all that in, but then it gives it more of an expansive feel, which is beautiful as well. So, yeah, I would love to tell you that I was cool as a cucumber and knew exactly what I wanted from this scene. But I don't, man. I'm flapping and I'm shooting it every which way. Sometimes that's how it is. And I'll bet you every photographer in the world does that, apart from maybe large format film photographers, unless they're very wealthy. Just come down, not far, like 10 feet or something, because I mentioned before that we had lots of distracting elements and other elements I'd like to play with. Well, one of them is this fantastic rock formation at the bottom. It's got these beautiful striations. I really don't have time to go and work it properly. I mean, it doesn't look it on this camera, but it's basically dark. We're almost, 10 minutes away from me needing a torch. However, coming down here, I'm just going to switch to a square composition. And I'm just looking at including the rock formations, because for me what really attracts me to the scene, obviously it's like the shot I just took before, lovely and clean and minimal, but also it's the shapes, it's the component parts of the scene, geometry, and that's what we have here. This adds to it, this adds a further dimension. It makes it a bit more of a complex composition, but I think it's worth investigating. And for me, with a square, this now looks really good. I'm just going to go in and get my focus. F11, 2-second timer. I focus to infinity. No filters or anything like that. Not necessary at this time of day. We're very much in blue hour now. And that's nice. That's nice. There we go. So camp is all set up and it's fantastic. No pegs, tent pegs are useless here. Just use these big granite boulders to anchor everything down and it's absolutely solid. And I tell you what's a really nice surprise. The sand is not sticky. Like, you put something down in the sand and when you pick it up there's no sand on it, which is just fantastic. So my biggest worry was everything being covered in sand, but it's not happening. So for dinner we are having barbecued pulled pork. Never had this one before. I tell you what, after that walk in and a lovely photo shoot then, I am really looking forward to this. Got my own little kitchen going on down here, pulled over a couple of these slabs. I've got a big boulder that I'm sitting on. I've got a big slab of granite for my coffee grinder and jet boil. So this is luxury, man. I knew it would be glamping. This is fantastic. And do you know what? We're in November now, which on the downside, it means the nights are really long, but I tell you what, it's not cold. It's not cold at all. It's probably all that cloud cover insulating us, keeping us quite mild. So hopefully we'll get a nice, comfortable night's sleep. Just suppose it depends on how high the tide comes. Barbecued pulled pork. Yes, that is good. Genuinely good. I am looking forward to this. Oh. Oh yes. Whoa.
Can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine if that went? Right, okay, that'll do. Oh, that's nice. It was a long night last night. I mean, it was a nice night, don't get me wrong. No wind, nice temperature, comfortable, slept well. But it was just really long. Like 15, 16 hours of darkness. I've got to say though, things are not looking good this morning. I mean, there's absolutely zero light for a change. Yet the wind has picked up, so that image that we got last night, that lovely smooth, that silky smooth S-curve, with this wind, it won't be as good. I'm feeling a bit guilty, if I'm honest with you, because I'm just not feeling it. I've got my camera out and I've just not got any desire to walk around and explore this beach. A lot of that, as I've mentioned before, has to do with the fact that I'm really pleased with what I got yesterday. I don't just want to repeat it, and the conditions are flat and dull, the wind's picked up. But I'm going to go for a walk down the beach to the edge where the water's running into the sea and have a look, because I've been in this situation many times, and more often than not, once you get walking, you get moving and you get your eye in, suddenly you start to think, yes, thank God I bothered. So we'll do that. We'll give it 20 minutes, see what we can see. Just go with the 24-70, leave everything else here. Yeah. Right then, we'll get going. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. And I made a promise to myself a couple of weeks ago that I would be far more selective with my photography, and I would stop taking images just to complete a video. So, with that being said, I think I'll go and pack away the tent and actually feel really good with the images I've got from this. So I would say, without a doubt, this has been a successful trip. And you know what? I really enjoyed camping out last night, listening to the waves crashing, being out in the open air. Like, there's something to be said about camping, especially when you combine it with photography. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. The raw files are coming up in a minute. If you did enjoy this video, the best thing you can do to help me out is just give the video a like and leave a comment, or comment on someone else's comment. That's always good. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. I have a landscape photography calendar now available. Links to that are in the description below. And I also have a photography community, the 617 Club. There we go, sales pitch over. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Cheers guys, bye bye.